A lot of people in Jamaica have property, have insurance, and still run into problems when something happens. Not because they didn't have coverage, but because everything behind it wasn't set up properly. I've seen this with professionals, business owners, retirees, Jamaicans living overseas who have done well for themselves. They did the right thing, they bought property, they got insurance, and still, when something went wrong, the process became stressful, delayed, and in some cases much more expensive than it should have been. Why? Because they assumed if I have insurance, I'm covered. But in Jamaica, that's not how it works. Insurance is not protection. Insurance is a contract. And that contract only works properly when your ownership, your policy, and your legal authority all line up. If they don't, the system slows you down. Hi, I'm Sophia Bryan, attorney at law at the Law Boss firm in Kingston, Jamaica. We help Jamaicans at home and in the diaspora handle property, estate, and insurance matters the right way, so you can make confident decisions, avoid costly mistakes, and protect what you're building. This video is general information, not legal advice for your specific situation. But if you stay with me, you'll understand what actually goes wrong and what proper protection really looks like. Because the goal is not just to have insurance, the goal is for it to actually work when you need it. And in Jamaica, the moment that actually tests that is a hurricane. Let me break this down simply. There are three things that must match: ownership, insurance, authority. If those three don't align, that's where the problems start. Let's start with the first issue: ownership. Who actually owns the property? Is it in your personal name, jointly owned, in a trust, in a company? Because the insurance company is going to look at legal ownership, not what you intended, not what your family understands, but what is legally in place. Now the second issue: insurance. Who is actually named on the policy? Because this is where we see a lot of disconnect. The property is in a trust, but the insurance is still in someone's personal name. Or the property has multiple owners, but only one person is listed. Now when something happens, the question becomes, who suffered the loss and who should be paid? And until that is clear, the process slows down. The third issue is authority. Who can act? Who can file the claim? Who can assign documents? Who can approve repairs? Who receives the money? If the named person has passed away, or if there are multiple owners with no structure, or if the trust does not clearly define authority, everything gets stuck. And here's what most people don't realize. Insurance companies are not just looking at damage. They are looking at proof, value, and entitlement. They need to know who they are legally allowed to pay before they release funds. Now let's talk about what makes this even more serious in Jamaica: hurricane coverage. Most policies include hurricane protection, but they also include percentage deductibles. So if your property is insured for 50 million and the deductible is 2%, that's 1 million out of pocket before anything is paid. There is underinsurance. If your property is worth more than what it's insured for, your payout is reduced proportionally, which means even if you have insurance, you are still absorbing a part of the loss. So when you combine misaligned ownership, incorrect policy structure, unclear authority deductibles, underinsurance, you start to see the real issue. It's not that people don't have insurance, it's that the structure behind it isn't complete. And this is where the mindset needs to shift, because the goal is not just to get insurance, the goal is to build a structure that actually works when something happens. That means ownership is clear, the policy reflects that ownership properly, authority is already defined, values are accurate, and the exposure is understood. This is how we approach it, not as a product, but as a system. Because when insurance is properly done, claims move faster, decisions are clear, and your family is protected. When it's not, delays happen, payouts are reduced, and problems multiply. Property issues in Jamaica don't disappear, they compound, especially after a loss. So here's the shift I want you to make. Don't just ask, do I have insurance? Ask, is everything behind it set up properly, because that is what determines whether your property actually protects you or creates problems for you. If you own property in Jamaica and you're not sure whether your ownership, your insurance, and your legal structure are aligned, that's something we help clients review and fix properly from both a legal and insurance standpoint. Click the link around this video to book a free 15-minute evaluation call. Let's make sure everything is set up the right way, so when something happens, everything works the way it should.